This is a quick video to review multiplying binomials, which you should have learned in grade 10. And hopefully you remember the acronym FOIL. First, outside, inside, last. And that just reminds you the order in which to multiply the terms together. Okay, so let's try with our first example. First, we're going to multiply the first together. That's the x times the x, and hopefully you remember that as being x squared, right? In our powers lesson from the other day, we're going to keep the base, which is the same, which is x, and we're going to add the exponents. Then we're going to do our outsides, so we're going to take x times -3, and we're going to get -3x. Then we're going to go to the insides. We're going to do +1 times x, so +1x, or just x. And then we're going to do the lasts. +1 times -3 is -3. And anytime we're multiplying these binomials, then you'll look to collect like terms. And most often those middle two terms will be like terms, so the -3x plus the 1x. So we'll go ahead and simplify that. So we get x squared. We have -3x plus 1x is -2x minus 3. And so note we do get a trinomial, a polynomial with 3 terms when we are finished. And that is the most common when we're multiplying binomials. Okay, we're going to try a few more that all look a little different, so there's a reason for every single one. Okay, in our next example with B, you'll notice that there's a coefficient in front there. You might have been taught differently. There are lots of ways to think about this, but I always recommend to you to leave the coefficient and multiply it in at the end as to not make a mistake with that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to leave the coefficient there, and then I'm going to perform my multiplication of the two binomials using FOIL. Okay, open up a bracket for where your result is going to go. So first I'm going to do x times x, we get x squared. Then I'm going to do x times -4, we get -4x. Then I'm going to go to the insides, we get -5x. And the last, we have -4 times -5, we're going to get +20. Okay, so again, I leave the coefficient there right from the beginning. Then I'm going to simplify my trinomial. I have a -4x, a -4x subtract 5x is a -9x. And then +20, and then at the very, very end, I like to distribute the 3. Don't forget it gets distributed to every term in the brackets. And so then we end up with 3x squared minus 27x plus 60. Okay, so coefficient, I strongly recommend leaving it till the end. The next example. Okay, hopefully you can see that this one really just means this. Okay, it just means multiplying the binomial by itself. And if you write it like that, then you simply do it exactly like we've been doing all of the others. Okay, so first I'm going to do my firsts and get x squared. Then I'm going to do my outsides, get -2x. Then my insides, -2x. And then my lasts, -2 times -2 is +4. And when I simplify there, I end up with -4x in the middle there. Okay, and if you did learn a pattern, an easier way to do that, you're welcome to use it. But when in doubt, always just write the binomial times itself. That's the easiest way to deal with that. So now I want you to try and combine all those skills, and I want you to try D on your own. Okay, before you start, I will just remind you, so there's a coefficient, and then I have an x plus 2 squared, so I'm going to multiply it by itself. Okay, so I'd like you to pause the video. I'd like you to try and expand that on your own, and then come back and see if you got it right. Okay, please check your work and see how you did. Any questions, you can definitely come on to our meeting and ask me, or you can bring them to class next time you see me, or send me an email. Okay, one more where we take it and just make it a little more tricky, and we're going to relate this to quadratics, which is what we're moving into next. Okay, so taking a look at this last example, which should be E, by the way, we can see that we have a coefficient, and then we have a binomial squared, which means that, and then we have a plus 3, and that plus 3 just gets dealt with at the very, very end. So you're going to start by using FOIL to multiply those two binomials. Go for it. Okay, so I got x squared minus x plus 1, and then I'm just going to simplify that quickly. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to distribute the negative 2 into the trinomial. The positive 3 just gets left there at the end to be simplified. Okay, and then we're just going to collect the like terms at the end here. We have the negative 2 plus 3. So at the very, very end, we simplify that. So we get negative 2x squared plus 4x plus 1 as our simplified trinomial. Okay, so you're going to practice some of these, and I'll be around to answer any of your questions that you do have about them. Thanks.